This episode is brought to you by LifeLock. Between two-factor authentication, strong passwords, and a VPN, you try to be in control of how your info is protected. But many other places also have it, and they might not be as careful. That's why LifeLock monitors hundreds of millions of data points a second for threats. If your identity is stolen, they'll fix it, guaranteed, or your money back. Save up to 40% your first year. Visit lifelock.com/podcast for 40% off. Terms apply.
Oh, Aaron, that intro music, I've missed it.
Yes.
Oh,
that was nice.
We're back. It's been a minute since an episode.
Oh my gosh, so much has happened.
So much has happened. I don't even know where to start. Well, we can start with hi. I'm your host, Corey Dickman. I got my co-host. I mean, I know you're not an official co-host, but you've been on a lot of times, Aaron. We call you the doctor because you are a doctor, Dr. Aaron Brown. We've been friends forever, big Blazers fans for longer than that, and we're here to chat and catch up our audience, catch ourselves up on everything that's happened this offseason. Before we start, and I've mentioned this on some previous episodes because it's been inconsistent. The show, the Rip City Roundtable Podcast, hosted here on the Rogue Media Network. I've dropped the ball. We've done this every week. That was the plan. That was the goal. Then we both had second children, and we will both admit, yep. Aaron, it's tougher than having one, and so it's been a lot, and so there just hasn't been a lot of frequency.
Definitely makes scheduling harder for sure.
It makes scheduling harder, and just honestly, I'm going to be vulnerable. Just the drive to get up and put the planning in and record an episode, and like you said, the timing and planning. So. Forgive us for not putting out some content here, but Aaron and I, we both agreed there's been too much that's gone on. This has probably been, Aaron, one of the most jam-packed off seasons the Blazers have had in a really long time, maybe outside of the Lillard trade a few years back, because that was such a big deal. Can you remember an off season that had so many kind of moving parts in the last 5 or 10 years?
Yeah, I agree, and I was thinking about this too. It not only probably the Lillard trade, that whole saga and the draft with Scoot and everything, that was probably a bigger deal in terms of okay, this is where the franchise is going now. It changed everything. This was the most I don't know, topsy-turvy, just roller coaster ride. I don't know, I didn't know what to expect in this offseason. Before that other time we knew. This was what are we gonna do? What is the plan? And maybe we still don't know the plan, but it's been a roller coaster.
Yeah, this is kind of how I think the Blazers off season is kind of like how I plan my life and career and company movements that we do here at Rogue Media. It's you kind of have an idea, but then if something changes, you have to be ready to pivot, and it's hard to be yep. Had that planned all along. We knew Dame was going to get waived by the Bucks, and we knew we were going to grab him on a 3-year. It's you didn't, Cronin. Cronin had no idea. I would say leading into this offseason, and even how the season ended last year at the trade deadline, I know myself, and I think you would agree here. I mean, we were both a little frustrated with the lack of moves, right? Holding on to Grant, holding on to Ayton, holding on to Williams, holding on to Simons. What are we doing? And I feel like Cronin got, I don't like to use this word a lot, but he got a little lucky, Aaron. He got a little lucky in how all this broke this summer. Yeah. Right?
Sure. Yeah.
So I don't know. But anyway, this is what we're going to do here. So I challenged you. We each did our top 5 off-season, we'll call it transactions or newsworthy things for the Blazers, and we each ranked them, 5 to 1, 1 to 5, however order you want to go. We'll start at number 5, Aaron, and 1 being your most impactful one. But we'll tell the audience the 5 because we're picking from a certain 5. So the 5 are the Lillard signing. We'll call that the signing. Yang Hansen and Chinese Jokic coming here to the Trailblazers. We have the Simons trade. Okay, Simons for Drew Holiday. We had the Ayton wave, just straight up cut and bait with DeAndre Ayton. And then our fifth one, it's just a little outside the box, but Adam Silver spent some time, the commissioner of the NBA, spent some time talking about the Trailblazers and the potential sale coming up in about a year from the Paul Allen Trust, managed by Jody Allen. And he talked about the trade.
Mm-hmm.
Most notably, Aaron, would the team be moved potentially? And so there's some conversation around that. So those are our 5 topics, okay? Do you want to start or do you want me to start? We didn't discuss the starting.
No. So we might probably have different orders for things. It was hard to rank because they all kind of mesh together and one speaks to the other. I put for my number 5, and I could see an argument for this being, different, but I put the sale because I will justify. We just don't know very much. It obviously, if things go a certain way, it'll be a huge deal and would shoot to number 1. But right now, it's like, well, yeah, there's chatter. We don't know any of the potential buyers. We don't know,
Sure.
what's going on with that. So like that to me was number 5.
Number 5. Okay, good. Well, we had a different number 5, so that works out. My number 5, it was the Simons trade. We've known this is coming. It needed to happen. We've had undersized guards that can't play defense that are tremendous shooters. We've done that before. It didn't work. And so we knew the Simons trade was happening all last year. That I mentioned body language. Like every time I covered a game for the Blazers Edge, I talked about Simons just didn't look engaged. Most of the season he didn't. And I think he knew he was on his way out. And then we trade for a player that we already had for about 5 seconds with Drew Holiday. But, it's like he's older. We take in all his money, which Drew has owed so much money over the next 3 years. It just like left me wanting more, and I kind of was just like, whatever. Like I knew Simons was gone, and we're taking in a player that I'm like, Like I like Holiday, but I just think we're 3 years too late in his prime. I've heard people reference, oh man, the Drew Holiday, like when he played for the Pelicans, and they swept the Blazers in the playoffs. I was like, man, that was like 8 years ago. Like. Yeah. Give me that Drew Holiday. I want that. I'll even take Drew from 2 years ago. This one, I don't know. So that's my number 5, Simons for Holiday.
Well, okay, so let's jump into it a little more. Obviously, I'm with you on that. I didn't like the deal. I still haven't come around on the deal. It just seemed for that amount of money, for that old of a player, we were giving up picks. It all felt like, what are we doing? We had this guy in the building, we shipped him out, gave Boston a championship, and now they're done with him, so we're just going to take him back. Yeah. I understand maybe there's not a market for Simons, just not the type of player that teams are looking for right now. I think there's been more emphasis on size and defense, and Oklahoma City's kind of set the pace for that, right? Winning the championship with that kind of team. So I get that we maybe couldn't find the right value, but like, it's just a lot of money for a couple of years. Like, how does that fit? It doesn't really fit with what we think the team is doing. So I had that ranked higher because of the negative aspects of it, I guess.
Okay, that's fair. No, that makes sense. Yeah, I think from a negative standpoint, it definitely probably should have been ranked higher. I think it was from my like, oh, okay, like saw it coming and wasn't really hyped about what we got in return. I think that's what put me at the 5th spot.
Right.
Yeah. All right. Hit me with your number 4.
There.
Little lag. That's all right. We'll clean it up. Hit me with number 4.
I think 4 is probably going to be the DeAndre Ayton cut. And it was very surprising when it happened.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, sorry. getting some lag here. So the DeAndre Ayton deal, we talked about this, in our chat. We can't get any value for him, like none. An expiring contract on a good center, like not a bad center. If you just like compare it to the rest of the league, there's probably at least half the teams that's an upgrade at center for, right? Like, and he has his problems, and I get it, like culturally, and we didn't think it was going to work with him, but like no value, just cut and eat that salary, and it just was such a bizarre move. I still don't like it. I get the like we're just trying to move on. They put all their eggs in the Yang Hansen basket along with Klingon. Like they're just like, these are our guys. That's pretty risky to me. I don't know. Like these are unproven guys. I don't know.
I'm with you. Yeah, I think this kind of goes back, or it's like the point of like in a vacuum. Okay, very cool move. Like you waived a guy, or we made room for our young players and got rid of a guy that maybe didn't show a lot of effort. Maybe there's not a long-term future. Everyone wanted to trade DeAndre Ayton, so it's not like we're bummed he's not there anymore. So I get it in a vacuum, but when you look at it in totality, it's like you couldn't find a trade partner for a 26-year-old former number one pick who plays really well when he's engaged, and he was on an expiring contract for $30 million. And you couldn't find a trade partner. I'm like, Joe, like, what are we doing? And again, if you can't say, well, we couldn't find one this offseason, you're supposed to be looking for one last year. Like, even if you could extract something, it didn't have to just something. Get another expiring in return and some draft capital, like something for Ayton, because then he immediately gets picked up by the Lakers, who was like the obvious choice. Clearly they were going to do it. They should have been the trade partner all along. We should have been able to snag a first-round pick from the Lakers. Instead, Aaron, we say, hey, have our starting center, and we're going to pay, and we'll pay him too for you. Like,
no, the only way that it makes sense is if we get the Dallas Mavericks treatment, and this is signing us up for that first overall pick next year.
Oh, that's true.
That's the only way it makes sense.
I didn't think of that. That's true. Maybe that does get us prepared for that, and hopefully it does. I just and can I go on a little tangent here for a sec? I kind of teed up this before we started the show. Is the whole like waiving and then another team can sign him for like $1 million makes no sense to me. It makes no sense, and it actually is cheating because you look at the Lakers. Let's use the Lakers because they picked up Ayton, right, off of a buyout, basically from being bought out, and then they got Marcus Smart, who DeAndre Ayton and Marcus Smart are definitely players that aren't maybe at the top of the level where they could be right now, but they're still talented, and the Lakers are getting them for 5 cents on the dollar. So they should actually be worth more than they are, but the Lakers don't have to pay that. That makes no sense to me. They should be held for that amount of money on their cap. They shouldn't have been able to pick up those guys. That feels like cheating to me. Like it's cheating.
Yeah, I think the waiver system, I get it, and I know. So my understanding is people could pick up those players, but they'd have to pay them their contract, right? And most of the time, these guys that are getting bought out, they're not worth their contract. That's why they're getting bought out.
Correct.
Bradley Beal, the Clippers got a really great deal on him too, right? He's still a good player when he's healthy. That now they're paying under his value, and same with us with Lillard if he comes back and plays. That's all. It's all part and parcel for. I don't know what the solution is. Right? These guys can sign for whatever they want. They're cut by the teams. It's the teams that do the buyout that set up this kind of market.
Yeah.
It's not, the Lakers are a destination, so they get to take advantage of this stuff, whereas small market teams like the Blazers and others just won't have that opportunity probably ever.
Yeah, it's stupid. Even if there was like, hey, you're given another two-way contract or just something, it just doesn't feel like there's any reward besides, hey, you can create some cap space because you cut this person, And then, but when the idea was, look, we're trying to trade you to the Lakers are like, no, because he's going to sign with us when you cut him.
Right.
Like they're just it doesn't make any sense. I don't know how if you can put it against their cap, make him pay a luxury tax on it or something,
or pay like you have it, even though the parts that the other team is paying counts towards your cap, or like 50% of it counts towards your cap or something.
Yeah,
this is like phantom money that it's just as the as a number to add. I mean, there's probably other solutions. I don't think we're going to see anytime soon, but
no. But this offseason has been just, I mean, look at how many players, like you mentioned, Beal. We're going to talk about another guy that got waived by another team, and then another team signed him. But like some of these guys, there's been a lot of waiving, and I think teams are fine with that based on how the way the luxury tax is working and the second apron. Teams are clearly, that's the strategy, right? They watch what other people do. It's a copycat league. Oh, you can waive, we're going to waive. And if there's like some guy with 3 years left, I get it. But when Ayton he was in an expiring contract, I was like, we really didn't want him. We really did not want DeAndre Ayton on this team. Like, and it just goes into Cronin knowing who we were going to draft, most likely, clearing more space at that center position. But it just doesn't make – I just feel like that was still boo-booed. I feel like Sam Presti would have done a better job with DeAndre Ayton than Cronin did.
It is frustrating, and we don't know what deals were available. All we know is he didn't make a deal. This is the deal they decided to make, was to just cut him, and that's what we have to live with. And we're here analyzing it, and we don't like it. So that's where we're at. We didn't get anything out of it.
Nothing.
I did want to add, there is a positive side to it. I do think that DA, we tried to have him be like a focal point of the offense. We tried to have him, be in there. Can he be a player for the future? And he didn't really show that, and so I do think there was some thinking, behind the scenes that, hey, if we just get this guy out the building, it'll let these other guys grow more. From cultural standpoint, you could try to make that argument. So if I'm trying to put one positive from it, it's that. I think overall we're in agreement. We wanted to see, asset management a little better. But
I think you're right. Yeah, I mean, that's what I was saying. Like in a vacuum, it makes more sense because Ayton, personality-wise, I think he, again, by watching, this is me just covering the games last year. I'm not in the arena. I don't get to see what he does during timeouts and stuff like that. But he always just seemed arrogant, and everybody else on our team were like grinders and kind of, they want to prove themselves, right? Scoot is the only one that came in with a ton of praise and third pick overall. Everybody else, man, they're like hustlers, and they're trying to get better, and they've been doubted. Ayton, I think, probably would have been pretty like, oh, I'm the number one overall pick. I'm the best guy on the team. Look at me, blah, blah, blah. And I just think from a chemistry standpoint, it doesn't fit. So, I applaud the wave. We needed to get rid of him, but we needed to get value from him, and that's the part that sucked.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So,
where did you have that ranked?
I had Ayton number 3.
Okay.
So I'll say my number 4.
Uh-huh.
I'll say my number 4. So the sale of the team, that was your 5. That's my 4. I have no doubt we're going to be in Portland. I think any ownership group, I think an ownership group that buys the team, if it's not led by me, is also going to want to keep the team in Portland, because I think it's going to have Northwest ties. It just feels like that. The Blazers aren't, the Lakers, where it's 10 billion or 7 billion or 5. The Blazers probably will sell for 3.5. And I think that's going to be someone with some Northwest ties that'll keep Portland there. I know that Seattle fans probably said the same thing, and then their team goes to Oklahoma City. But I just feel like the team will be there. I just thought it was interesting that Silver needed to touch on it, because sports franchises, Aaron, are just crazy business, and it's like the way billionaires can measure themselves against other billionaires. Like, oh, how many sports teams do you have? And so they don't come available often. So I think it's newsworthy, but I don't think Portland fans have anything to worry about.
Oh, I hope so. I hope you're right. Because moving from Portland would be a tragedy, and I do think there is something to be said about right now. They have the Northwest market.
They do. I have two groups I'm going to approach to be in the ownership group with me, Aaron. I'm not going to say who they are, but I got two right now that I'm eyeballing. And I'm going to try to meet with one next month, and then I'll meet with another one, and I'll just see if they want to jump on board. I need a little bit of capital, Aaron. Just a little.
Just a little?
Just a little bit. I just need a little bit.
3.2 billion short? Is it?
Maybe a little bit more. Maybe 3.29999 billion. But I'm going to try, though. I'm going to try to put it together. All right, give me your number 3.
Number 3, I'll just say was the Simons trade, right?
Okay. Yep.
Just to kind of go in line there, and I think we already kind of discussed. I do want to say, like, from a positive note, I do think Drew Holiday is a good player and could be a really good fit next to Scoot and Shaden. We'll see if that pans out, but just because Simons needed the ball in his hands a lot. And I feel like Drew doesn't necessarily need the ball in his hands as much, but he can still be the calming force playing that point guard role as well. So, like, I think he brings positives in both ways there. We'll see. I don't know how motivated he's going to be to play in Portland. I don't know. I have no idea what his mindset is with being traded from Boston. I would imagine he's probably not that thrilled about it, but
sure. I think he probably was less thrilled than he was about a week ago.
Yeah.
And again, we'll touch on that here in a minute. But I think now he's like, I think there's going to be some motivation for the Blazers to actually try to win games as opposed to me just being a teacher here kind of thing. But I'll say to the his attributes on the defensive end, right, are just astronomically better than Simons's were. I mean, and Simons is who he is at this point in his career. He wasn't going to get any better on defense. And so our team's calling card, Aaron, is defense, right? And I don't think Shaden or Scoot are lost souls yet on the island of defense. There's potential. Shaden 2 years ago showed some chops on defense with his athleticism. And Scoot obviously is a physical specimen, so they need to be taught the angles. Like, they need to be taught how to be shifty. And I think Drew can teach him those things. Simons just he didn't have the physical traits, I think, to be a defensive, well, not even a stalwart, but even like average. Where Scoot and Shaden, they have that, Aaron. And I think Drew can unlock that in those guys. That's what I'm hoping happens.
I hope so as well. I think that is what the thinking was, bringing him back. Is kind of a mentor these two guys the right way, kind of a thing. Shaden and Scoot. I mean, but Tumani too. I mean, Tumani's obviously already got the defensive chops that we've seen, but it doesn't hurt to have a veteran in there who's seen a lot more and tell him about different guys. Hey, this guy, I'm sure he has a lot of defensive knowledge from specific players and things. So
sure, it's cool, Aaron. The Blazers, we are not going to have I'm sorry, I'll phrase it a different way. For the next 10 years, we're going to have somebody on first or second team defense in just Tumani. He will always be first or second team. He's that good, and as long as he stays healthy, he's incredible. So we're always going to have.
There's
some
a
defense.
Scenario where we have a very good defense this next year. Like, we might have a very good defense this coming year, and I can't remember the last time that was the case.
Long time.
So from that perspective, I think that is probably one of the things I'm sure we'll talk about before the start of this season. To be looking forward to. So Drew's really a big part of that.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you look back, that front of Wes Matthews, Nick Batum, LaMarcus, and Rolo and Robin Lopez. Those four guys played defense, and then you had Dame, who was Dame, But those 4 guys, they got out there on defense. So that probably was the last time. And we weren't like known as a defensive team, but those 4 dudes could play defense. And that's probably the last time we even scared anybody on that end of the court. So
yeah. So that's why that fell to number 3.
Okay.
So we're kind of in we got the same final 2.
I think we're tracking here. Yeah, my 3, Ayton. I won't. We've said all the Ayton stuff we're gonna say. Yeah, you go. Okay, so my 3 was Ayton. Now you go 2. We'll see if we match up here on 1, 2.
So I did put the Lillard signing at number 2, which may surprise you.
Go! It surprised me. I like it. Hit me.
So okay. So first, I'll defend why it's not number 1, and I think it's because obviously he's not playing this next season. That's already known. So we don't know what player he will be when he comes back. It's a tough injury. Now this shoots up to number 1. In a case where he comes back and he has a big playoff moment on the Blazers, if that happens again, then obviously that's huge. And we're all rooting for it. That's what we want to see. But I think there's enough. We don't know how this is going to go.
Yeah.
That I moved it to number 2.
Okay. Well, I'll go my number 2. And then that'll lead into your number 1. And then we'll go back to my number 1, which will then cover more of your number 2.
Sure.
Okay. So our fabulous rookie, Yang Hansen, who everyone pronounced it Yang Hansen.
Yeah.
The first 4 days, Yang Hansen.
And no one knew if it was Hansen Yang or
Hansen Yang. We should be used to this in the Northwest with like Ichiro Suzuki. Was it like Ichiro his first name or his last name? Why is his first name on the jersey? All that kind of stuff. But Yang Hansen, like everybody, when the pick came up and we drafted him, and it was like, huh? Who? And the guy, he's in his white suit and he's sitting with the spectators. We've talked about this on the phone, and this take is not a take. It's probably what normal people are saying. So I'm not going to rock the world, but I think just to reiterate it is I do believe, and there's been reports that the Timberwolves are interested. There's reports that other teams are interested, but I just don't know if I believe it. And I think we could have gotten Yang Hansen at a later point in the draft, and we could have extracted some more value, like what Atlanta got out of the Pelicans, things like that. That this was a mistake to draft him here when you could have waited and gotten more. Now, again, people might say, well, there it wasn't there. Cronin tried. Well, try harder, because other GMs do this. Why are we stuck with the guy that can't extract value out of our trades or picks and all that kind of stuff? So,
all right, I'm gonna push back on that a little bit.
Okay, push back.
They did trade back once in the draft, which already was like a win. Sure. Although, if I could back up even further, watching on draft night was so confusing. I had so many emotions, like. The guy that we picked in that spot that they didn't tell us was being traded until later.
Yeah,
it was like I was like, why are we taking this guy? I don't want this guy. What are we doing? And then find out later, like, oh, we traded back. And then when it came to what was our pick, it was Yang, and I was like, wait, who's this? I don't know who this is either. Like, what is happening?
What are we doing?
The draft was a wild roller coaster. I don't know if other Blazer fans felt the same, but I was just like,
yeah.
Oh, we traded back. Oh, I felt really good about trading back. It's like, hey, that's great. Like, we always want to trade back if we can. As far as like, was he a reach? Yes, absolutely. He probably was. By all accounts, you could have gotten him at the end of the round. I don't think that deal that Atlanta got is a deal that most teams are making. I think they
got it. But they fleeced
but like, I
Why
know,
can't
but
we
they
fleece?
just
I want to be
because
a fleecer.
the Pelicans are uniquely bad at being an NBA franchise. So So like there's only like 2 or 3 of those that you can fleece, and none of them were behind us in the draft. We're not going to fleece the Oklahoma City. We're not going to fleece.
Well, yeah, you're definitely not going to do that. We get fleeced. Like Drew Holiday should not have been traded for Anthony Simons, but Brad Stevens fleeced Joe Cronin.
Correct.
He got him.
That's fine. I'm just saying in the draft that I don't know if there was another move back. They moved back once.
Yeah.
It's probably hard to move back a second time. I feel like in like the NFL, for example, it's a little easier. There's always a team that's going to let you move back.
Yeah.
In the NBA, I think it's a little harder.
Yeah.
And if this was the guy they were targeting, then you go and grab him. Now, why did I have this number 1 over the Lillard signing? Just because it's just the hope for the future. This is the summer of hope, and if he can turn into a top 20 guy in the NBA or whatever, that hope exists because he's a rookie and we have no idea what he's going to be. Now, is that a little bit riding high off of Summer League and a little bit of like wishful thinking? Sure, I understand. The more than likely that's not what he's going to be.
Yeah.
But I put that as number 1 because it felt like of all the moves that we're judging here, it was the one I thought at least the on paper, hey, we traded back and we grabbed the guy that we thought had the best potential to be a future All-Star.
Sure.
Then I'm like, I like that move. I think that it speaks to them, at least having the right mindset for that move specifically.
Yeah. Yeah. I think at 16, at 16, it's a gamble, right? I think Giannis was 15th when he got drafted. Jokic was a second-round pick. I mean, Tumani, who we love, he was a late-round pick. So I get it. I think the 16th pick in the draft or the 40th pick in the draft probably have the same chances of making a starting lineup or an all-star. It depends on a fit and situation, how much playing time you're going to get. Mm-hmm. So I get it. And so I don't mind taking a swing on Jan, but I just have felt like we could have gotten a little bit more out of it. But that's I'm excited for him. I feel like I don't want this segment to be deemed as I'm negative on Yang Hansen. I was texting you during Summer League, like, Jan, like
Oh, yeah. No, for sure. I mean, it's number 2. For you. It's still like, hey, I'm really excited for this move. I think it's going to have an impact on the team.
Yeah.
And I agree.
Dude, I've watched a lot. Sadly, I've watched a lot of Summer League over the past 4 years because we've had high draft picks in all of them, and just the way our family routine now goes is we usually go on vacation in July during 4th of July, and I end up just watching a lot of Summer League when we're away. So I feel like I do some sports betting because we go to a state where I can actually do that when we go on vacation. And so I bet a lot of Summer League, Aaron, not just the Blazers. I bet a lot of Summer League. I've gotten really good at it. I have a really good high win rate on Summer League basketball. But so I'm going to tell you, I've watched a lot of Summer League. There's nobody in the last 4 years from the center position that's played like Yang Hansen.
Yeah.
In a good way. The way he sees the floor, the way he like gets at it, like when he gets frustrated, he overthrows a pass and stuff like that. Like he's into it, but it's that playmaking ability that and they run sets, Aaron, similar to what the Nuggets do with Jokic. It's their, we can easily get caught up in this, but there's some similarities there. I don't know, man. It got me going. It got me excited.
For sure. I think my expectations for a center in Summer League are like, don't get hurt.
Don't get hurt, and please don't use your 10 fouls.
Right.
You have 10 fouls. Most of the times they foul out. Like that was last year with Klingon. I just wanted to see Donovan not foul out of games. With Jan, that was not even on my radar. It was totally different with him.
Yeah. And I saw, and I didn't catch every Summer League game. I did catch a couple, but looking back afterwards at the box scores, it looked like I don't know if this is true or not. No reporting here, but it looked like the coaches said, "Hey, like this game, focus on this." Like there was a game where he took a couple 3-pointers and then the next game he had like none, and it was all like rebounds, and like it looked like he was, hey, focus on this game, and that's what he did, and he delivered on those things, which is a really great sign as well. If that's what happened, is just looking at the box scores.
Oh, you saw game 1 to game 2 for sure adjustments from the coaching staff telling him, "Okay, try this and try that." But it was like the passing ability was on point the whole time.
The passing was every game, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, but you could tell they wanted him to be a little bit more aggressive shooting the ball. And I think he shot, it was like 27, 28% from 3 in the Chinese league, something like that. It wasn't great, right? You need to be in that 35, 36 range, but 27, 28, there's room for growth. He's young, and if teams have to respect him at the 3-point line, that's where the passing lanes open up.
Right.
Just like Jokic, right? He's not a 3-point shooter, but he hovers in those mid-30s. You have to respect the 3-point shot. And so with Jan, it was that like throwdown, like he threw that dunk down on whoever in that second game. Like that's a little bit of nasty, Aaron. Like that's just like, okay, like let's go. Like that, I like those intangibles, being able to throw the ball down over somebody. That's awesome. We both texted about this, the rebounding. He's really good at boxing out, like really good on getting a body on a man, but I think like learning which way the ball's going to come off the rim, he doesn't gobble up rebounds like you think a 7'1" guy should do.
Yeah, there's definitely some positional stuff, or like he gets caught with like, do I contest a shot or do I get in position for the rebound? And he just was out of position a lot of times on the rebounds.
Yep.
But that's okay. We can fix that. That's a teachable skill.
Yeah, it is teachable. And you know what else I loved? And I think I harp on free throws more than the normal Joe does. But 7 of 8 from the free throw line. He if he can be consistent at the free throw line, that tells me he has touch, and teams can't hack a Jan. And if he's down low, grinding, like, being physical and getting fouled, man, Aaron, if you have a center that can connect on 80 to 90% of their free throws, oh, baby, we're cooking. We're cooking now.
And it's really nice with Donovan Clingan just have like 2 different looks, different styles you can go to.
Yep.
And just makes it so, yes, assuming both those guys pan out, we're set at the center position for a while.
What do you think? And I'll this will be my final point, unless you have something else. What do you think of the conspiracy that the Blazers are trying to increase their viewership in China in order to increase the value of the team? Where do you stand on that one, Aaron?
I have no idea. I would say, sure. I mean, if makes sense, if that's what they're doing, it makes the draft pick even more, even more sense. So I'm all for it.
Yeah, I think Yang Hansen won the contest for most cheers at Summer League, because I just think you had a contingent there from China, or at least Chinese fans, that were going wild every time he did something.
I mean, that does bring value to a franchise. I mean,
yeah. Aaron, I feel like we need to you and I will talk offline about this, but I think we need to get smart about our tagging and for the podcast here. I think Jan Hansen's in every title of an episode. I think we have to drive that SEO, Aaron. We need to tap in to the Chinese to the Chinese market, right? Like, we'd be stupid not to. So let's make sure we do that.
All right. That sounds good.
Okay.
I'll leave that in your capable hands.
All right. Sounds good. I have some sponsor opportunities. I think we'll start rolling those out. All right, dude. Well, why don't you I'll go my number 1, and that'll feed into your number 2, because then we haven't really talked about it.
Yeah.
So my number 1, and Aaron, it wasn't even close for me, was our boy Dame coming back home. I'm gonna can I find something real quick? Actually, I just thought of this. I'm gonna look something up real fast. Why don't you tell me what was going through your head when you saw the notification that he was coming back to Portland?
Man, it was mostly disbelief at first. Like, wait, what? Like, this is happening?
Yeah.
I think there's mostly I feel really good about it, just because I don't think that bridge was burned when he asked for the trade, and like all the fans kind of understood. We're like, yeah, we get it. Like,
yeah,
he didn't get traded where he wanted to go necessarily, but he was a good sport about it, and he's always been a consummate professional. And he's just, I for a long time, he's been, the face of the Blazers, and just I have nothing but love for Lillard. I think he's a guy that is also liked by like non-Blazers fans. Like I have friends that are Mavericks fans, that are Bulls fans. They all love Lillard, right? My friend who's a Bulls fan named his son Damian because he loves Lillard.
Wow.
Yeah.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Oh, dang.
Yeah.
That's big time.
It's big time. So like, I just think having him back in Portland, and I hope that he's able to like retire with Portland too. Like I'm assuming that's kind of what the goal is of this signing. I think it's just a really great story. I think it's so I mostly just had positive vibes about the whole thing.
Yeah, positive vibes. Okay, I'm gonna read you something. I found it. I'm not gonna lie, and this is probably why this team goes a lot deeper than just a normal basketball team for people. But the first time I read this, I cried, which says a lot about me. And then the second time I read it, I also teared up. And it was his goodbye on Instagram. This was September 28th, 2023. Okay, so this is when the trade has happened. He's saying goodbye to Portland. This is his last line. It says, Lillard said, "The show in Rip City must go on with or without me. I do believe a day will come where I put a Blazers uniform on again, and hopefully by then I'll be forgiven for breaking your hearts along with my own." And he did. He broke my heart. And you know what? How quickly do we forget, Aaron? Because I think we've all forgiven him.
That was less than 2 years ago. It's crazy.
Yeah, less than 2 years ago. I think there's a couple attributes that there's a couple reasons why he's forgiven this quickly. Beyond the timing, like you said, it was just 2 years ago. One, he exited, and there wasn't like, let's throw all the shade against the fans, and I hated this or that. There was some stuff against Jody, some stuff against Cronin, but I think ultimately, like, at least this is how I felt. I was like, we let Dame down, like, so he can go. Like, we let him. I didn't hate him, like,
yeah,
because I felt like we let him down. But he also, Aaron, he didn't win in Milwaukee, which, I don't know, maybe I'm petty, but I'm like, Dame, come back and let's win your first one with us. I think if he had won in Milwaukee, I'd have been like, I don't know. It doesn't feel as special anymore. And then the last thing there, I think why is because he got hurt. And I think with an Achilles injury, it just looked awful. And you could tell Dame wanted to be out there so bad. And so it's like he's hobbled. And I think it's hard to like be angry at a guy when you're hurt. And so him coming back, it's just like all love, man. And how rare do you get to own up to your words of like, I'm going to be back in a Blazers uniform? A lot of people say that, and they go do the whole like sign for one day and then retire or whatever. But Dame, like, that's not this. And he's actually coming back. So I think that part's really cool, that there's not a lot of hate or shade thrown at Lillard coming back here to Portland.
Yeah, and it's a very rare opportunity. I mean, the buyout was kind of insane. Like, I don't know what the Bucks are doing. They're just like,
dude, crazy.
They're so desperate to hang on to Giannis. They're just hemorrhaging all of their future and all of their. I don't think it's gonna work. I think Giannis is probably gone. He probably sticks around one more year, and that's what this whole deal was for.
Yep.
But I don't know. I mean, I
agreed.
He wants to stay. I mean, he wants to stay, but it's kind of the same thing as what we went through with Lillard. Like, the team had nowhere to go. We couldn't compete anymore. That's what's going to happen with the Bucks. They just don't have anything else to make the team.
Aaron, don't you hope that Dame and Giannis like built some chemistry?
And then we could get Giannis.
And Giannis is like, I'm coming to Portland. I'm coming.
Well, that shoots this up to number one one divided by 1 billion, like just top of the list.
That's where that goes. Oh my gosh, that would be wild. Yeah, no,
but yeah, like I said, I think the reason I didn't have it as number one is I am a little bit tempering my expectations. I don't think we can expect Lillard to come back and be at an all-star level. I just don't think that that's realistic. I think that part of it is also kind of hard for the team because he is the former face of the franchise, only 2 years removed. So he basically is still the face of the franchise and so like, how's that going to work with these young guys? Is he going to come off the bench when he comes back? Is he going to start? Like, it is a little bit of a hard situation to manage. I think if there's anyone who can do it, Lillard can. He's shown himself to be a consummate professional.
Yeah.
So I am very positive that it's going to work out. I
agree.
I'm tempering my expectations. That's why I could not put it at number one.
No, you're good. I think. Where do I start? That's a great point. So a lot of this is in the hands of Scoot Henderson.
Mm-hmm.
If Scoot can yank the starting point guard spot away from Dame this year, then it'll be a discussion, but there won't be a debate. It'll be Scoot is the starting point guard of the Trailblazers. Lillard would be 37. So this is assuming he doesn't come back this year, which, I mean, Aaron, I really hope he doesn't. I want him to be a big part of the team. I like anybody, dude. I would love to see him back out there hitting game-winning threes. But I think he sits out this whole season, regardless of what happens. I think he needs to sit. He comes back in year 2. He's older at that point. And if Dame can be a heavy contributor off the bench and we win a title, I think Lillard can still say, like, hey, I was a big part of that team winning a title. Mm-hmm. It wasn't just like I'm riding the coattails of LeBron and I won one, or like that was like Gary Payton winning one in Miami with Wade and Shaq. It was like, did really Gary Payton contribute that much? I think Dame would be a big contributor, but I do think it's off the bench. As long as Scoot takes hold of that starting spot at the point guard position.
Right, and that's my concern is I could see a world, even if Scoot plays very well this year, I don't even know if he's starting this year because Chauncey seems to like to take him off the bench. Drew Holiday maybe starts. I don't know what it's going to look like, but
I don't know. I don't trust Chauncey to manage this well.
Right. So I could see a world where when Lillard comes back in 2026, he and Holiday start, for instance, right? And like that's not what I want for this team. That's not a team unless some other pieces fall, I just
no.
So there are some things, there are some ways where this could go bad. I'm hopeful that it will not, but
that would be this is me doing no stat research. That would have to be the oldest starting backcourt in the history of the NBA.
It's got to be up there.
If it's Drew Holiday and Dame Lillard in 2026, 27, that would be awful. We can't do that. That would be, I don't care how good. Like Tumani would have to be Scottie Pippen and Rodman rolled together. Klingon would have to be like Dikembe Mutombo and Prime, whoever on the defensive end. There's no way. Like we'd be torched by every team if Dame and Drew were starting. I hope that they lead an amazing bench unit with 2 veteran guys mixed in with some buyout dudes that we're going to get now, Aaron. We're going to get the buyout guys and figure out what we're doing with Jeremy Grant.
I don't know where you're getting that information from.
The bench unit of like Drew, Lillard, like Matisse, Jeremy Grant and like Jan Hansen, oh baby, that unit would terrorize people. Like, no doubt. That second unit against other teams' second units, GG. GG.
True.
So
I don't know.
I don't know where it goes. But anyway, if Dame can come back to form, sure. But I think if we're going to be our best selves, it's Scoot and Shaden taking all-star level leaps in their career. Because if they don't, Aaron, we'll be a fun story, but we'll be a first or second round out, 100%. If those two guys don't take the leap they need to.
If we make the playoffs at all, yeah. Do you? So that kind of leans into what, and maybe it's too early to have this discussion. We can save it for another podcast. But what are your expectations now that all these moves have been made? This is kind of like what the team's going to be. What is your thinking for this upcoming season?
Man, good question. I'm sorry, Aaron. I'm bought all the way back in. I'm I can't sit on the sideline anymore rooting for losses. I've done that for 2 years now. I can't do it anymore. I'm back in, baby. I think Avdia, Tumani, another year under Klingen's belt, and then wherever Scoot and Shaden are, that team can't be bad. Like they wouldn't be bad. We're going to be a play-in team, worst case scenario. But this Blazers team, Aaron, we're going to be fighting for home court in the playoffs. 100%.
100%.
I'm back in.
100%.
We're not OKC. We're not Denver. We're not Houston. We're not those three, and I get it. But that next group, Aaron, where you got the Lakers, you got the Clippers, you got the Timberwolves, Memphis will be in the mix. And I think we're right there with those guys. The Spurs will be right there with those guys. The Mavericks will be. I mean, it's tough. The West is tough, but that's my expectation. Where are you at? Are you saying one more year to be bad? What are you at?
Well, so I always want to root for wins. I do think the team needs one more bite at the apple, unless, like you're saying, one of these guys can move into an all-star level. We don't have an all-star player yet. Like, it's just, it's not, we don't have one yet.
Sure.
And we haven't really talked about Denny in this podcast, but I know we were high on him last time we talked. Can he make that leap? Can Scoot? Can Shaden? Whoever it is, sure. If one of these guys can show that, hey, we have a guy who's our number one, then we don't need another bite at the apple. But if we don't, if we just have a lot of really good pieces, I think we still need that guy.
I agree with you, and I still hold out hope that the guy is Scoot Henderson.
Okay.
I haven't given up. I haven't, Aaron.
I have not
believe.
either. I have not either. I really do have high hopes still.
I have high hopes.
It's already 2 seasons in, and
I know
it's tough. It's tough.
His growth has been stunted by Chauncey. I'm fine. Chauncey got the extension. I don't know. I still am not a fan of that. I wish we would have gotten like Jenkins from Memphis, or I don't know. Mike Malone probably doesn't fit our team from the old Denver coach, but whatever. I think Chauncey just hasn't managed the development well enough in 2025. Okay, 2000. Or when Chauncey played in 2004, winning titles, that's how you treated young guys. Yeah, come off the bench. Aaron, we're in the modern age. You got to play the dudes. Like, a lot of it's confidence. And if Shade's not defending well enough, he's going to be embarrassed getting torched every night. That should motivate him to be better, not having him come off the bench. Right? When we're not winning. Like, we didn't need to win, so might as well keep him in the fire and see what he does. It just made no sense. Chauncey was like coaching like we were trying to make the playoffs, which sadly I think we were trying to. So that was a mistake. But I believe Scoot can make the jump. I think he can be an all-star. If we did another bite at the apple, you obviously then hope we get like a top 3 pick.
That's what I'm saying. We would need another top pick.
But it's not promised. Like, it's not.
It's not. And so, like,
Let's just win.
I mean, let's face it. We can. I don't know how much more time we have, but we have not had that great of luck. We're not like the Spurs level luck of like getting, and that's the true of most teams, right? So like, I'm just hoping we can hit one lucky piece, and that doesn't have to be a top 3 pick. It could be getting lucky with Scoot and him like developing later on, right?
Yeah.
There's other forms of luck besides hitting the lottery.
And since we're on the word luck, let's just rag on the Spurs a little bit more. It wasn't like they got lucky. They got lucky. That's why they've had this long tenured run of success. But they got lucky in the years where, Aaron, there was no doubt David Robinson was the best player in the draft. Draft him. There was no doubt Tim Duncan was the best player in the draft. Draft him. There was no doubt Wembanyama was the number one. Draft him. So it's not that they just got lucky. It's they got lucky in the drafts where they were the can't miss guys.
Oh, it's the most favored franchise in the NBA at this point, right? I mean, is there another contender? I don't think so.
Crazy. And so, yes, the other part, and I know I can hear Spurs fans, Ginobili and Parker, like, you're right. The Spurs were way ahead of the game on international scouting and developing international players, and they were able to get top-tier international guys, and that they were huge parts of those teams. And they made the smart trade for Kawhi.
Yeah.
So again, they've made smart moves. They're not stupid. However, it's a lot easier when you get the number 1 picks in drafts that are just no-brainer guys.
Yeah, like, getting generational centers consistently for decades.
For decades. We'll keep you winning. We'll keep you winning. So, Cameron Boozer, he's probably projected number 1. You have the dude at BYU. He'll be really good. I mean, there's some really good talent in this upcoming draft. But even if we go, 20 and 62, we could end up with the 5th pick.
Right.
And that was like a waste. So we have the infrastructure. We have Lillard back, although not probably this year. Let's start to win some games, Aaron. Let's just see what happens.
I hope so. I think the West is pretty deep. So even if the team looks good, there's a chance we don't make the playoffs, which maybe is the best thing for us. I don't know, but we'll see. But
I think if a veteran player was like, wow, if I joined the Blazers, how I mentioned the Lakers are cheating, we kind of get to cheat because if Lillard actually comes back in 2 years and is close to his old form, we're getting $100 million guy at a very cheap discount. And so that could lure another player in that's like, well, shoot, if I join the Blazers, like they're cheating because they got Lillard on this good deal. So I'm going to join them and we can put it. So we might be a free agent destination for the first time. Let me check. Since 1970, when we became a franchise. So I don't know, man. And when Yang Hansen's averaging a triple-double this year,
this year, okay, calm down.
Okay, maybe not this year, but So anyway, I think I'm excited. I want us to win. This will be my first year covering games for the Blazers Edge where we're actually trying to win games. So I'm excited to actually write. I'm not going to get the nasty text or a Slack from Mr. Dave Decker being like, Corey, you need to be more positive. I'm like, do I have to be?
That's good. Yes, we're going to have a new lens. Related, we'll do my trivia question for you now.
Okay, we'll end on our trivia. Note. Yeah. Okay.
All right, so I don't know. Maybe you saw this, but yesterday the NBA app or NBA X account or whatever posted the top 10 verticals from the 24-25 season. Okay. Who was number 1?
Top 10 verticals.
So this player jumped the highest in the season. And there were 10 of them.
Well, I'm tempted to say Shaden just because you're asking me this question. I'm still going to say it's Ja Morant. I think Ja was number 1.
Ja Morant was number 2.
Oh, so Shaden?
Shaden was number 1
wow.
at 45.1 inches. And not only was he number 1, he was number 3, number 4, number 5, and number 9. He was on the list 5 times. I saw this. I was like, what? This is crazy.
Wait,
he's the only one who's on there more than once, and he's on there 5 times.
Oh, my gosh. Was that being recorded off like a make? Like they had to like score points off the dunk for that to.
I believe they were all
Okay.
mates. I think.
Oh my gosh! Well, I didn't know like if they track like growing up for a rebound or something. If
No,
that
I think
was tracked.
it's on a alley-oop or dunk or shot. Yeah.
So, wow. How?
Yeah, it's crazy.
So is Shaden like automatically in the dunk contest now?
I
mean,
mean,
what
you
are we
would hope
doing?
So I don't
Yeah,
know.
what are we doing?
The dunk contest is kind of just dead. They probably are gonna have to get rid of it. No one does it anymore.
Okay, you're right. But it'd still be fun to see Shaden in it.
It would be, yeah.
Yeah. Well, that doesn't surprise me. I don't. You know, the season's a blur, but I remember a couple of those where it's just like takes your breath away when he gets up. It's like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, I told you when the one game I got to see in person last season, Shaden was the player that he just jumps off the court, literally, I guess. But just watching him, you can just tell this guy is springy. He is fun to watch.
He has the touch, he has the size, he has length at his position. He puts on more muscle. Like, there's no reason he can't get to that level where like a D Wade was, or like a Kobe or whatever. Like he can. I'm not saying he'll be those guys, but he can elevate. He has all the potential to be there, and I think he's gotten off to a good start. He had a down year last year, but I think he bounces back, and it doesn't hurt that he can jump over any single player in the NBA. So.
Yep.
Aaron, that's like 5. What was you said the vertical height was 40? What?
45.1 inches.
So that's almost 4 feet.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that is high.
It's really high. They had the video too. It was a alley-oop pass from Simons, and he got way up.
Wow. Remember what was that training we used to do in high school to try to jump higher? Remember it was called like air
alert.
Everyone trying to get higher on their vertical.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, air alert. I remember. Did you do that? You did a lot of that?
I did. I didn't help, but I tried.
At least you tried. All right, dude. We've been at it for a while. We got to bounce. This was great. I'm so excited to be back talking Blazers with you.
Yeah, this was fun.
This is great. I pray for you with your kids. I know you're supporting me. We're gonna get there, Aaron. We're gonna get there. They're gonna get older. It'll be fine. They'll be okay.
I think I got to go feed one right now. So
all right. Well, you go feed one, Aaron. As always, the doctor. Thanks for coming on the Rip City Roundtable Podcast. Everybody, I'm not going to promise we'll have one next week, but I think you'll hear from us in more frequency than we have done in the past. So, as always,
thank you, Corey.
Yes, sir. And Aaron, it's a great day to be a Blazer.
Blazers.